commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just
2023 for Xbox has got to be one of the weirdest years for the Green Machine. They've had the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, from developer directs and Hi-Fi Rush to freaking Redfall, man. And then we had that kind of funny interview where Phil Spencer infamously said that even if Starfield was an 11 out of 10, no one is going to sell their PlayStation 5 to buy an Xbox. That it's not the games that bring the gamers to these ecosystems. Well, Mr. Phillip, Senor Spencer, if you will, let me tell you, after this most recent Xbox showcase, I trashed my PlayStation 5. I'm going out there to buy an Xbox Series X. Here's a reenactment of how that went down. Anyways, I'm kidding, obviously. I'm not getting rid of my PlayStation 5 or anything. But that Xbox showcase was just it was pretty amazing, to be honest. Like, I feel like between PlayStation Showcase, Summer Game Fest, Devolver Digital, all these other events that we've had, this showcase was definitely peak and this whole like non E3 moment. So I kind of just want to take some time to talk about the Xbox showcase, give like a quick overview of the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm gonna preface this with one thing. I'm gonna talk about first all the things that I love about this showcase. I'm a fanboy a little hard because honestly, I don't really get to fanboy that hard for Xbox. And I feel like this is one of those rare moments. This is like rarefied air right now if you're an Xbox fan. Before I talk about my favorite things in the showcase, their first party offerings that were awesome, I want to take a quick moment to talk about the awesome third party announcements they had. They had Path of Goddess by Capcom, which I don't know what the hell this is, but as just a proof of concept, it looked freaking amazing. It had a nice mix of like in-game cinematics with a little bit of gameplay. Again, it looked crazy. They had the marketing behind Payday 3 that's also coming day one to Game Pass. We have the newest Like a Dragon game coming to Game Pass, or coming to Xbox. At least they have the marketing behind it. I'm not really 100% sure on the actual details on that one, but it is coming later next year, and we saw it at an Xbox showcase. We saw this game Metaphor, which is the newest game being developed by the people who brought us Persona 5, and this, again, this looks really, really cool. This looks really engaging. I like what I'm seeing here. Again, just over the top, really cool third party marketing are coming first to Game Pass. I'd like to see Microsoft and Xbox kind of muscle their way in and buy up some marketing exclusivity, buy up some kind of Game Pass plans. You know, PlayStation plays this game a lot where they kind of attach their name to specific IPs like Final Fantasy, you know, for the longest time, like Persona. So I like that Xbox is kind of strutting their stuff a little bit. They're looking a little bit more relaxed, and Xbox gamers are looking really more confident and happy after today, and I like to see that. Alright, that's enough of that third party. Let's get into some of this awesome first party stuff that they showed off. I feel like going into this, there wasn't much that they really had to do. I think there was things that were like expected, right? The Forza Motorsport release date, we had to have that. We got it. It's coming October 10th. Real close to Spider-Man. I kind of like that. They're different games, but I like that Xbox isn't hiding their great games, you know, because of specific dates or anything. October is a packed month, and they have Confident Forza stacks up with games like Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, all these great games. And you know what? Forza looks to be one of the good ones out of all these games. Now, if we're talking on the subject of games that had to be here after Xbox's like Twitter tease of Fable, there was no way in hell they couldn't show us something of Fable. And I feel like a lot of people took a little bit of different things from this. And I feel like if you're not like a Fable fan, I don't think you really got it. I think a lot of people who weren't really big fans of Fable back in the day were hoping to see something that was going to completely sell them on Fable. And I don't think this trailer really did that. Now, if you like Fable like me, like, I mean, Fable is probably one of my favorite Xbox like exclusive games. I love the original and I love Fable 2. The thing that this trailer really highlighted was just the magic, the whimsy, and that specific humor that Fable has. This game, it was like chock full of that kind of campy British style of humor that I just freaking love Fable for. and it seemed to like encapsulate what a modern day Fable really looks like. And I'm very intrigued by what this is. I'm very intrigued by this whole giant situation and his little interview that he has with the person. It's just really cool. I like that they understand the roots of Fable. And after this trailer, I'm very confident that Playgrounds has the stuff to make a really good Fable game. One of the biggest surprises was seeing Compulsion's game South of Midnight. This thing looks so freaking cool. And I get it, we really didn't see any gameplay out of this, but just the art style alone is freaking fantastic. That twang in the air from the freaking the banjo player guy looked amazing. This reminds me very southern, very bayou type of energy, and I mean, I freaking love it. It reminds me of like a weird Tim Burton's take on Princess and the Frog, and it just looks overall super cool. Something that was rumored but honestly took me by surprise. I feel like this is one of those things that people are saying it's gonna be there. I just didn't really believe it, just because I don't know. It didn't really feel like. I feel like with Fable, with a couple of the other games, they were kind of in the air, like you kind of just felt it coming. But seeing Avowed for the first time, like actually seeing like good gameplay, good like in-game cinematics of Avowed, I was so sold on this, man. I feel like I don't play a lot of Obsidian RPGs. I know a lot of people hold them to like high regards and stuff like that. This would be my first time really getting into one, and it just looks so cool, so amazing. I love that they're not really pushing the graphical fidelity in exchange for art style. The art style is just really cool and really eye-catching. They have these very, very vibrant, bright colors and a lot of very dark, kind of somber areas as well. They really understand like world building, and I feel like the thing that really stood out the most to me when I saw this was, I feel like at Summer Games Fest we saw like 2 or 3 games that looked kind of similar to this, where it's like first person magic shooting and it has like medieval like armor and stuff like that, very medieval type of energy. Anyways, a lot of those games look like very flat and they didn't really stick out. They all look like they're trying to do what Avowed is doing, and Avowed looks like the grand finale, the master, what all these people are trying to do. This looks like it is it, and I'm just so sold on Avowed. One of the games that I feel like had to be there was Hellblade 2. I feel like this is a game that people have been hyping up as like, you know, Xbox's answer to God of War. And I never played the original Hellblade. I've never played anything from Ninja Theory. I've just kind of seen like the mocap of this. I've seen a lot of the acting and stuff like that. Other than that, I don't really know much about this, except it's like a Viking for a third person type of game. And honestly, from this trailer, I feel like a lot of people kind of didn't really understand it. I feel like a lot of people, you're either two sides. You're either like completely sold on this. This was really cool. This was really like deep in storytelling for you. Awesome. I'm with you on that part. I think I was very engaged into what was going on from like a simply theatric way. But I feel like other people were very upset because they wanted to see some combat. They wanted to see like what are you going to be doing in the game. Not to mention the fact that this didn't really say anything about like the actual story of the game, and I understand that. I feel like what this was really, really, really showcasing was the power of Unreal Engine 5. I feel like this was showing great, smooth animations, awesome graphics. The sound design was just so crazy. I feel like the art direction is just so phenomenal. And I feel like, again, this was more just of showing you a proof of concept of what some of the best Xbox looking games are gonna not just look like, but feel like, they're gonna sound like. This was, I don't want to say a tech demo kind of, but yeah, I feel like Hellblade is gonna be a showpiece for the Xbox Series X, and I feel like that's what this trailer was trying to convey to you. And for me, at least, that's how it hit me. I could be completely wrong, but that's how it hit me, and it looked really cool. I don't know if it's gonna reach the highs of God of War, but it definitely has like tons of potential, and I'm glad that there's a game like this available to Xbox, at least coming soon. One of the final games that they showed us that was first party was inXile's Clockwork Revolution. This game, I feel like, is exactly the type of game that I like. I love the art style, the graphical fidelity, the engaging world. This is what I really like about video games, man. And I feel like in Exile was really showing us what world building looks like, what how crazy their characters are. They have like this cool time mechanic that's definitely going to play a part in this. And again, I haven't seen gameplay. I don't know exactly what this is, but from what I've seen so far, this definitely looks very promising. The only thing that is a little upsetting is that again, it they didn't really have any release window. It just said coming within due time. And I'm assuming since this is the first time we're really looking at this game, we're probably not expecting this game till 2025 or 2026 based off of just how long it takes Xbox to develop games right now. But I feel like I could wait. Xbox looks like they have a lot of cool games that I'm excited for that I don't think I need this game now, and I'd rather just let it cook as long as it freaking needs, because this might be one of my favorite games on Xbox just based off of the way it looks, the way like the theming of it is. Again, this is 100% of the type of games that I just really like to look at. So I feel like that's all the really good things that I like to see. I like to see really cool games. I like to see really cool art styles, diversity within games. I like to see that we know what teams are working on within Xbox, and we have a promise that when we buy a console, we're going to be getting really cool games. And I'm excited for that. As someone who doesn't own an Xbox Series X, this might be the direct, the showcase, whatever, that completely sold me on buying an Xbox, at least for the year 2024. Now, this gets me to the bad or the ugly, if you will. I feel like a lot of these games are more proof of concept trailers than they are like overview trailers or gameplay trailers. I feel like a lot of them are really cool ideas that they're presenting to us without any full concrete, this is what this game is gonna be. And granted, we do have a lot of time before these games hit their release marks, which brings us to the second big bad, ugly, whatever, is that Xbox has a really big thing of having really great showcases, really great presentations, and promising us tons of really cool things in the future. But then they always have this issue of missing their deadlines, not updating us properly on what's coming out. A lot of these games release date were sometime in 2024 or no release date at all, which gives me the hint or the notice that don't expect these games anytime soon. I know a lot of people were expecting games like Hellblade early next year or something like that, or even this year. And what this is just showing us is that when Phil Spencer says he doesn't believe in micromanaging his teams, when Phil Spencer says he doesn't really believe in forcing games out early, he might kind of mean that when it's a game that he actually truly believes in. I feel like games like Clockwork Revolution, games like Hellblade 2, games like South of Midnight, all of these games, I feel like Xbox, Microsoft truly believe in these games, unlike they did with Redfall. I feel like they looked at Redfall and realized no amount of polish was gonna help that game better, so better just release it as is versus spending more time working on it. Versus these games, I feel like they clearly don't mind pushing the deadlines for these games. I mean, Forza was supposed to be... We were supposed to be playing Forza by now based off their last showcase where they said within 12 months we'll be playing all these games. We were supposed to have been playing Forza, supposed to have been playing Starfield, yet we're not. And again, I really do think it's just because they believe in letting their games cook as long as it freaking takes. And if it means sending a bunch of third-party games into Game Pass, so be it. And hey, I might kind of agree with them on this, that hey, if you're going to be releasing fantastic games and it's just going to take a long time to develop them, I'd rather you take the time to develop them instead of releasing them incomplete or unfinished or just not really what we come to expect from a first party game that especially run by Microsoft and Xbox, like the richest companies almost in the world. You should be releasing these games at top tier, high quality. And I feel like they're seeing that money can't buy them the best games. The thing that's going to buy them the best games is time. And Microsoft is going to let their games cook as long as it takes. So whether that's good, bad, or ugly to you guys, I don't know. That's more of a you thing where you have to sit down and decide, do you want to buy an Xbox and get one fantastic game or two fantastic games or something, but it's going to take a really long time to get those games? Or do you want a different console or even PC or something else that gets games more frequently but might not be this high quality? I feel like this is gonna be a weird trend going into this next year, where we're gonna see things like Microsoft Xbox having really long development times, but come out with some really solid games. Nintendo has a different approach where they're really solid gameplay games that release very frequently, which then brings us to PlayStation, where it's like PlayStation is going the live service route, a really weird route that I'm not against per se. I will say though, the live service approach in the long run is not going to stack up if Microsoft can deliver on these top tier games. Overall, I do think this is a really good showcase, and I feel like at best Xbox bought themselves more time to really cook on some of these games. But if we just repeat the trend of announcing really cool games but not really showing us the games or actually coming through with the games, or worse, we get a Redfall situation again, then yeah, that might be really troublesome for Xbox. But I feel like there's something different about this showcase. I feel like it's not wrong to put some kind of faith in Xbox this time. So, hey, 2024, I might be buying myself an Xbox Series X finally. And that's what I've been wanting. Anyways, you guys, these are my final thoughts on the whole showcase. Like the video if you guys enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing. Check out some of our other content if you guys like. I will be diving deeper into some more of the specific games that I really want to see more of, or things that I'm really interested in later on. If you guys are interested, stick around. Let me know whatever you guys like. If you guys have thoughts on any of this stuff, do whatever you guys need to. With that, I'll see you guys in the next video.